guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 15 Thursday night football. We got a matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 3.5-point underdogs in this game, which is interesting. I kind of felt like the number would be higher. I felt like the 49ers would be like 6-point favorites, but they're not. Very interesting line here. Look, like usually you look at a game, you're like, I think that San Francisco should win by X, and then Vegas has it way lower than that. You know, feels like a trap. Like maybe there's something here. Obviously, Seattle at home is a tough opponent all the time, but I don't know if Seattle's defense, especially minus their defensive lineman who got hurt, can do what it has to do to stop San Francisco offensively. And I'm not sure that Seattle offensively can do what it has to do to score points effectively against San Francisco's offense, against their defense. So we're going to take a look at everything here. I'm going to build out a pick'em card on Underdog Fantasy. We're going to go through and look at what I feel are the optimal captain plays, the non-quarterback optimal captain plays on the slate. We'll take a look at a few of the dart throws and then go plug everything over into the Fantasy Labs lineup builder and look at how we build lineups over there. So thank you guys for being here. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Okay, let's go take a look over here at Underdog Fantasy. We're going to build a pick'em card. I always pick hires because like it's just more fun for me to pick hires. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, the lowers are the sharper play. A lot of things can happen. A player leaves the game. As long as they play, things come in lower. But I'm hitting at like a 65% rate on the season so far, just blindly picking hires. So we're just going to pick some hires. Doesn't mean I always win because we got to win like a bunch of these at once, right? So let's find a few things that we like here. So we're not going to have Deebo Samuel, which means that there's going to be more stuff to go around. I'm going to go higher than 124 rushing and receiving. I'm going to go higher than 4 receptions on Ayuk. Let's go down. We got to find something from another game or from another team. So let's find something here that we can go to. Fant 26, Marquise Goodwin 24, Disley at 16. I'm going to go, I don't know if I should go higher here or higher here. I'm going to say higher. I think they're going to play from behind. So let me get Geno over 245 for $50 to win 6 times that amount. If you don't have an account over at Underdog Fantasy, you can go and use promo code ALSMIZZLE. That's ALSMIZZLE and get yourself up to $100 deposit bonus on your first deposit to the site. I'll click submit, confirm that. We'll try and win our 6 times there with 3 stupid higher bets. You can fade my picks all you want. If you want to play the opposite and just play the lowers, go do that. I put absolutely no effort into those. I just want to show you how easy and fun it is to play over at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure that you jump in the Smizz Gang Listener League. It's 2,500 people this week, $10 to enter. Absolutely no rake. 3 max tournament. You can't get there in the lobby. It does not exist there. So go to smizzle.tv/links. That takes you to the link tree that has the links to the Listener League and everything else that I do. So if you want to get in, I will shout out the top 10 finishers on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel next Monday on the recap video. If you want to check out the week 14 recap video, it's up there right now. Go check it out. Let's take a look at the captains on this slate. Now, the first one, the most optimal captain, probably going to be the highest percent played captain, is going to be Christian McCaffrey. And for good reason. He's amazing. Remember when people said that they would not draft Christian McCaffrey in the offseason? I wouldn't draft. You're an idiot if you draft Christian McCaffrey anywhere in the first round. That didn't work out. No, it didn't. Because he's really good at football, and he does things that are very friendly for fantasy, specifically those things that are very friendly to the way that DraftKings scores with full point PPR and 100-yard bonuses, which he can accomplish on either side of the ball. We have that major volume injury to Deebo Samuel, who is not going to play. He will return in 3-ish weeks. I love this. I love the analysis here. Thundergun, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Appreciate you becoming a member. And if you aren't already, !Discord in the chat if you're here on Twitch. If you are not a channel member over on YouTube, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, go to smizzle.tv/Discord. It'll take you to the Discord community. If you're a channel member on YouTube, that's $5 a month. You get access to all the VIP rooms over on Discord. So definitely go check out the Discord community. There are open rooms as well, but if you're a channel member, you get access to the VIP rooms to surround yourself with all of our Twitch subscribers and YouTube channel members kind of come together to form the Smizz Gang alliance, right? The YouTube Twitch alliance has never been stronger than in the Smizz Gang Discord. So looking at what happens with Deebo Samuel in the games that Brock Purdy has been the starter, has taken over, because like he played here, he did this. In the 65 attempts that he has thrown 15 of those to Deebo Samuel, 12 to CMC, 11 to Brandon Ayuk, 7 to George Kittle, and 7 to Juwan Jennings. So when we subtract that 15 targets, those have to go somewhere else. It's my opinion that we're not going to see, unless they get up so quickly and so easily, we're not going to see a sub-6 target game for Christian McCaffrey for about the next 3-ish weeks, which would include this game. So really high floor. And as I mentioned, the defensive line injury for Seattle, they were already an inefficient defense at stopping a lot of different things, but they've been particularly inefficient at stopping the run since their defensive tackle got injured back in week 14 last week. And the snaps that he was out, they averaged like 5.5 yards per carry against. It was really, really bad. So Christian McCaffrey gets to run against an even worse defense with an uptick in his target expectation. The next guy that I think is going to step up on the target tree is going to be Brandon Ayuk. He had a really, really nice stretch that kind of ended 4 weeks ago. And that stretch, if we go back and look at it, was 4 straight games with 80 plus yards receiving, where he was a monster. 3 touchdowns, 11 targets, 6 targets, 7 targets. This was pre-CMC. And then when they got CMC and had all of those weapons, they had CMC, Ayuk, Deebo, obviously Kittle. That kind of diminished the volume from a week-to-week projectability standpoint. Like last week, he had 3 targets, but he had 9 and 8 the 2 previous weeks, but then 4 against Arizona. So his volume was always going to yo-yo because there are just more mouths to feed and one football to go around. They have not shied away from throwing the football in the 2 games that they have played since Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. Brock Purdy threw the ball against Miami 37 times. Only had to throw it 21 times against Tampa Bay because they blitzed them. 35-7. They were up 30 points before you could say go. He was very good at completing 76% of his passes, assuming that he is going to throw roughly 30 attempts this game. Christian McCaffrey, I project for between 6 and 10 targets. Brandon Ayuk is more on par for one of those 8, 9, 11 target games, and I think projects as a very optimal captain for this game. On the other side, Tyler Lockett has scored a touchdown in 72 straight games, give or take. It's not 72, it's 6. But still, aside from last week's game against the Rams, where he did have 12 targets, 2 weeks ago, he had 12 targets. Last week, he had 9 targets. We haven't seen the amount of volume in the games prior to that on this touchdown streak was 7, 5, 5, where he was very much a touchdown dependent guy to pay off. He certainly has that connection with Geno Smith, and most of the coverage does roll towards DK Metcalf as he is the bigger, stronger, more dynamic alpha profile wide receiver. He's getting his own as well, averaging 15.3 DraftKings points. It is very difficult to separate one from the other. If I'm playing DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett at captain, I'm making sure that Geno Smith is in there. Geno Smith himself, very turnover prone quarterback on his career. He was very efficient this season up until about week 9, where he only had 3 interceptions through the first 8 weeks of the season. But since that point, 5 interceptions in his last 5 games. But over that course, he's still had no less than 20 DraftKings points in any of those games. I do think that he is a viable captain this week, but I'm probably going to only use about max 5%, or I would advise to use about max 5% of Geno. But in those lineups that I do have Geno in as captain, I'm going to focus on having at least 2 of his pass catchers, not using his running backs. Goodwin will be in that group. Fant will be in that group. Myers, the kicker, because the kicker is a positive correlation with the quarterback. Will Dissly, anybody else that you think can contribute in the passing game, I'm going to force at least 2 of those, and then 1 bring back skill position player from the other side. The other captain that I think is viable, those are all of the viable captains in my opinion. The final one is George Kittle. Not getting the volume that you would need, but definitely has multiple touchdown upside. He is a fringe captain that you're going to work in a sprinkle of in case things don't go the way that everybody else expects them to go, where the volume goes to CMC, the overflow volume goes towards Brandon Ayuk. Kittle definitely should see an uptick in volume, as well as Juwan Jennings, but has really good touchdown upside. We've seen him, massive breakouts from him. So like we saw with 24 points the last time that they were on an island game against Arizona, this is also a spot. Arizona just gives up points in chunks to tight ends as well. But Seattle, this is a good spot for him coming off of 3 down games, and he is probably going to be the lowest held of the 5 or 6 guys that we've talked about at the captain spots this week. If you want to take a couple of seconds and head over to No Kid Hungry, go to smizzle.tv/charity. If you've had a good year, whether it's in business or daily fantasy, whether you just like the content, if you've made some money this year and you're looking for a tax deduction, 100% of donations that you make through our Tiltify link are tax deductible to No Kid Hungry, who provides school breakfasts and lunches as well as at-home care to food insecure kids across the United States of America. Go to smizzle.tv/charity. When we get to $50,000 raised before the ball drops on New Year's Eve, that will trigger the next $10,000 charity match from me. So please go to smizzle.tv/charity. Every single dollar helps. If you have $5, if you have $1, that helps. We have 56,000 or 57,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel alone. If everyone donated $1, we'd already be at our community goal and have triggered all 5 $10,000 matches from me. So if you got 20, 50, 100, 500, whatever you got that you can give to our charity drive over at smizzle.tv/charity, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. Let's take a look over at NFL Savant, kind of to back up what I've been saying. Brandon Ayuk leading this team because of the games that Debo sent. This includes every single matchup, right? So Brandon Ayuk with 25% on the year. Kittle with 17%. Obviously, that's going to be affected by the fact that now Christian McCaffrey is in play and Debo Samuel is out. And Jawan Jennings with 10% on the year. On the other side, it's basically all DK and Tyler Lockett, projecting for roughly 50%. I'm going to say in this game. Noah Fant coming in at 12.8 on the year. Disley behind him. Marquise Goodwin, just kind of a downfield threat, the 3rd wide receiver on Seattle. Let's take a look at a couple of dart throws off of this. Little Piggy, thank you for the 64 months. Man, that is a long, long time. I got 4 dart throws for you, okay? I'm not going to include Juwan Jennings in the dart throw column because I think that he is going to end up being somewhat of a core play. As high as he has been, I think he's going to be over 25%. If he's under 25%, all bets are off. You should definitely be having him. But Ray McLeod at 1,800 is not going to be over 25%. Only 1 target, max in like the last 5 games. But should see a playing time increase in this game because of the absence of Debo Samuel. Not 1,800, sorry, 1,200. So this is going to be a cheaper spot for him to get involved. We may see a few rushing attempts from him. Every single point counts when it comes to Showdown. So these are all guys that I'm not really expecting, but like we want to have at least one player that's under 25% in every one of our lineups on a Showdown slate. I only have 1 team checked off. I'm like, where did he go? Goodwin is 6,400, definitely more involved in the offense, but I think that the price is going to hold down his percentage in tournaments. He is somebody that we are going to include because of his downfield ability, his big play, big splash ability, as well as running routes on a consistent basis, but that price is going to be somewhat restrictive. Players tend to opt for a kicker or a defense in those spots over a dart throw at wide receiver. And it's the wide receivers that have way more upside, as you see here with a 20.3-point game coming off last week. Another player, full-on dart throw, Will Disley. Every time Will Disley scores a touchdown, and he scored 3 of them early this season, everybody just throws their papers up in the air and just oh, God, that helps nobody. Well, like, it could help you, right? 2,400 is going to hold him down, at least in terms of his percentages. And the dartiest of dart throws, who nobody's going to have at 4,800, is Jordan Mason. Number 2 guy on this team in terms of the running back at this point because of the injuries that are there. He has looked very, very good in the 3 games that he has kind of seen increased volume of snaps and running back touches. Jordan Mason, they like him a lot. 5+ yards per carry each of the last 3 games. An 18-yard run last week, a 19-yard run in week 13, but that $4,800 price point is going to hold that percentage down. If he finds his way into the end zone, be it on a long run or if he gets a 1-yard plunge, you're putting yourself in a position to win showdowns when you choose players along those lines. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs. And if you wanted to check out all the great products that they have over at Fantasy Labs, their great projections, their lineup builder, their and that comes in a bunch of different sports. NFL, college football, which is pretty much done except for bowl season, but it will still be there. NBA is in full swing. So is golf and NHL. MMA, and when MLB comes around, they have that. Smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L gets you an NFL only subscription if that's all you play, or the 8-month subscription, which is the all sports, which is the best value per dollar that you can get, taking you all the way up to the beginning of next NFL season. I do not allow a kicker or defense and captain. I probably wouldn't on this slate as well with the offensive weapons that are out there. As we spoke about, pair your captain quarterback with at least 2 of their wide receiver, tight end, or kicker. Pair your captain quarterback with one of the skill position players from the other team, not a kicker, not a defense. I'm not saying they can't get in there. I'm just not forcing them into those lineups. Pair your captain wide receiver if you use Lockett or DK or Ayuk with the quarterback from the same team, or if you're using a tight end like Kittle, make sure that you're using the quarterback from the same team, and limit to at most 1 defense or kicker. And to show you how easy it is to build the custom rules, we're going to add at least 1 player that is a running back, wide receiver, tight end. This is how you get the optimizer to throw in some of those dart throw type players that projected ownership is less than 25% for. Apply the settings, generate the lineups, and this will build 150. Whether you're going to enter the big tournament, if you're not bankrolled for that, there are plenty of 5 cent, 10 cent, 25 cent options at the mini max level to help you find out if you're the next great mass multi-entry player. And the tools over at Fantasy Labs can help you do that a lot more efficiently and save you a ton of time and have a little bit more fun. Just realize that you're not going to go over to the site, click generate, make 150 lineups, and just start printing money. It's going to take you a while to run through, get the allocations, the correlation, and the combinations that you want in your lineups. So I wish you the best of luck on the Thursday night slate, and I will see you guys next week, because this is going to be one of the last videos that I do, because I'm headed to New Orleans for the DraftKings Championship. Thank you all for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.